Xbox is having an incredible 2025 so far. We had an incredible Xbox showcase back at the start of June, and some great titles have released so far this year. There are a ton of games though that have been announced for the remainder of 2025, and today I will narrow down the top 20 new games coming to both Xbox and Game Pass in the second half of this year. With that, my name is Fletcher, and this is Xbox Nation, and let's dive right into these huge games arriving soon. First up, we have one of my personal favourites, which is due to arrive sometime this October, and since the beta period, I've been gagging to get my hands on this game once again. You may remember, but Ark Raiders drew a lot of attention earlier this year, and many of you really did fall in love with this extraction shooter. This was mainly due to the solid gunplay, a map that had so many things to explore and do, and it also looked bloody fantastic. The team at Embark did set us up a little bit for a bit of disappointment during that beta period, as the release wasn't as soon as we expected. However, with the extra time that they're taking to polish this game, I'm hopeful that it will be an absolute banger upon its launch. It has been more than 20 years since we received Painkiller, and the release of this reboot is just around the corner. This is a horror FPS game from Bulletstorm and Outriders creator called People Can Fly. This new Painkiller though does look to revitalise the long dormant FPS game series by bringing its mix of horror and brutal inventive gunplay back in a new format. You can see many similarities here to the newer Doom games that Bethesda launched over the past few years, and if there's any judgment by what this game could be, then we could actually be onto a winner here. Painkiller's revival though does spin the older premise and turns it on its head completely, with a new story allowing you to dive in either solo or co-op, and it looks bloody insane. Obsidian Entertainment are set to bring us another banger with The Outer Worlds 2, and yes, this is the sequel to the critically acclaimed spacefaring RPG. If you did love the first game's chaotic blend of corporate satire, quirky characters, and open-ended exploration, then get ready, because this sequel looks to take everything up to a notch and probably up to 11. Your goal here though in this newest entry is to solve the mystery behind a deadly threat that could destroy humanity, and that's all whilst resolving a violent civil war between various factions in the colony of Arcadia. The gameplay looks to involve heavy exploration of Arcadia's world, of course, conversing with different characters, then you have your first person combat systems involving gunplay, melee weapons and unique abilities, and also a pretty deep looking character creation system. It has all of that signature humour as well of The Outer Worlds that we do come to expect, and I can't bloody wait to dive into it this October. In an announcement that we never thought we'd see, we're officially getting Helldivers 2 on our Xbox consoles, and it's finally arriving this August. For those of you who haven't heard of this game before though, it's essentially a very explosive and absolutely insane action co-op game which has you and up to 3 others diving down onto different planets to complete objectives while facing off against waves of bugs, robots and more. This game has been considered one of the best co-op games of the past decade, and visually it's utterly spectacular. Whatever the case may be, you can now pre-order the game, and better yet, Helldivers 2 will officially support crossplay between both your Xbox consoles, PS5 and PC. I can't wait for this release, and I will have my review up of this one as soon as possible. A rather recent surprise announcement is that we're finally getting the release of an awesome looking indie gem, and it's also coming to our Xbox Game Pass subscription. Herdling was revealed back last year, and it's from the devs behind Far Lone Sails and Far Changing Tides, so if you've played those games before, you know it's going to be an absolute banger. To give you an idea though, this is a solely single player adventure, and it lets you guide a herd of curious cattle across a ruined yet breathtaking world, and that's all whilst traversing some majestic mountainscapes, snowy plateaus, fog-wreathed forests and so much more. It has been said that this landscape is filled with tons of hidden dangers, and of course there will be strategic challenges that do require us to make some very tough moral choices. It sounds utterly fantastic, and it's just been revealed that it will be coming to our Xbox Game Pass subscription on the 21st of August, and if you want to preload it, it's available right now. If you like indie titles, then we're getting a charming snow-coated open world in Winter Burrow. This one is touted as a cozy woodland survival game where we will control a tiny mouse which is adventuring through brisk environments as you search for your lost auntie. Winter Burrow though does look to merge comfy, cozy game elements with challenging but yet approachable survival mechanics as well. You will spend most of your time of course within your burrow, crafting cute decorations to make your surroundings feel homely, knitting cozy clothing to stay warm in the cold weather, and then making sure you're prepared for those big days out foraging in the forest and trying to find your lost aunts. This is another Game Pass Day 1 release, and it comes to us very soon, and I can't bloody wait to dive into it. One of 2025's biggest gaming surprises so far has to be Ninja Gaiden 4, and I know quite a lot of you are really excited for this one. With Platinum Games, Team Ninja, and Xbox joining forces, this long-awaited sequel is shaping up to be one of the most impressive entries to date, and is launching day one onto the Xbox Series X and S consoles and Game Pass as well on the very same day. This time around though, you'll be stepping into the shoes of a new protagonist called Yakumo, a young ninja prodigy, whilst fan-favourite characters from the past games do also make their return. This one is serving as a direct sequel to Ninja Gaiden 3, but the story leaps far into the future, unfolding in a striking but reimagined Tokyo that blends tradition with high-tech spectacle. After years of waiting, the Dragon Ninja is finally back and sharper than ever, and it's got me so bloody hyped. I have to say, if you're also hyped and want to see more game announcements, reviews, exclusive Xbox previews, and just more about Xbox in general every single day, then do consider subscribing, as we're on our way to 70,000 subscribers, and it'd be great for you to join one of the fastest growing Xbox communities here on YouTube. At the moment, over 76% of you are not subscribed, and I would love for you to join our growing family. Thanks again for your continued support so far in 2025, but let's dive back into the remaining games coming our way. One game that I have been hyped for since its demo launched onto our Xbox consoles is Metal Eden, and this is an action-focused sci-fi first-person shooter. In this one, we basically take control of a woman called Asaka, who must destroy mechs and steal their cores to not only upgrade herself, but to also rescue the consciousness of those trapped within them. There will be tons of powerful enemies for us to fight that will also have some extra special cores, and that will allow us to have some more abilities and become stronger. It features a lot of parkour as well as traditional fast-paced FPS action, looking like a blend of Mirror's Edge, Halo, and Doom, and the demo was a hell of a lot of fun. We did have a delay since the game was due to be released all the way back in May of this year, but we're finally having a release date coming up, and it's only the 2nd of September. One game I was so happy to see at the Xbox Showcase earlier this year was the next project from Double Fine. This team makes some really weird, wacky, but bloody wonderful games, and Keeper looks no different, especially as it looks like we'll be a walking sentient lighthouse. The team over at Double Fine have mentioned though that this is a game without words, and it's a third-person atmospheric adventure set in a post-human world, and it's after our time in the sun has long since passed. The creative lead behind Keeper is Lee Petty, who joined Double Fine many moons ago as the art director for Brutal Legends, so you know this one's going to be another banger, especially within the visual department. I can't wait for this one. It does come out this October, and I love that it's also coming day one onto Xbox Game Pass. I had a blast with the original High on Life when it hit Xbox Game Pass a few years ago now, and I've also been recently diving into the High on Life DLC. Of course, seeing High on Life 2 getting announced at the Xbox Showcase a bit earlier this year was a total surprise, but I am totally for it. The game is launching this winter as a day one Game Pass title, and the sequel looks to reunite us with the same chaotic crew of alien misfits for another round of bizarre, over-the-top adventures across different strange worlds. This time though, the story does take an even wilder turn, so instead of aliens using humans as drugs, they're now keeping them in zoos and on a luxury futuristic cruise liner. What we know so far is that we'll have some brand new weapons, more characters to encounter alongside returning fan favourites, and it's all wrapped up in that signature absurd humour that this series is known for. We still haven't got a fixed release date for this one yet, but I do hope it comes sooner rather than later. Silksong needs no introduction, especially these days, as it's easily become one of the most anticipated indie titles of the past decade. This one has you diving into a vast, beautiful world filled with deadly enemies and hidden secrets, but this time we'll have to use our own unique abilities and combat skills with a brand new character named Hornet. The game does look to feature the same challenging combat, intricate platforming, and deep lore that expands that Hollow Knight universe that we know and love. The devs are promising that Silksong will be an epic Metroidvania experience that fans will really love, and that we should be ready to delve into the darkness and uncover the mysteries of this new enchanting world. I know we are still waiting for more details, gameplay, and also a fixed release date from Team Cherry, and it does look like we might get something at Gamescom within the next couple of weeks. Everything we've seen from Borderlands 4 so far has me seriously excited, especially since it's giving off major Borderlands 1 and 2 vibes, and let's be real, that was when the series really did peak. Over the past week though, Gearbox has dropped a wave of brand new details, from much needed co-op improvements to some fresh info about the game's open world design. This time though, there's a bigger push to make each world feel truly alive, so that means packed with more activities, more enemies, and then richer NPC interactions. One major change though, which the team have been majorly highlighting, is the focus on verticality, so you'll be able to climb up walls, soar through the air, and even battle enemies whilst you're gliding. It's all shaping up to be beautiful, and with Gearbox moving the release date to the 12th of September, we don't have to wait long now before diving in on our Xbox consoles. One game I originally thought was a PlayStation exclusive, but is actually launching day one onto our Xbox Series X and S consoles, is Hell Is Us. This one is developed in Unreal Engine 5 by Rogue Factor, and is led by a former Deus Ex creative director, and this action-adventure game instantly gives off some strong Death Stranding vibes. From its haunting landscapes to its bizarre otherworldly enemies, it's looking blimmin' gorgeous. The gameplay is set to break from tradition though, with players being guided by their feelings and instincts rather than following standard quest markers. Visually though, as you could probably see on screen now, it looks utterly stunning, and from what's been shown so far, it promises tense melee combat wrapped in a sort of distinctive sci-fi atmosphere. With all the praise coming from different review outlets and early previews, this is shaping up to be one of the most intriguing releases on our Xbox consoles for this year. Battlefield 6 is easily one of my most anticipated games for this year, and after spending too much time playing the open beta, I already know this will be my most played game of 2025 when it does launch. I don't really know how else to intro this game today though, as we already know what Battlefield entails, and the hype train surrounding this new release is utterly staggering. This time though, we are getting a full story mode, multiplayer, and even a battle royale, and it seems like such an incredible package right from the start. For me, after playing the open beta for the past 4 days, this is what all of us Battlefield fans really wanted, and it reminds me of the good old days of Battlefield 3 and also 4. I still think we need some larger maps, as it does feel somewhat coddish these days, but even so, I haven't had this much fun on Battlefield in years, and the 10th of October needs to bloody hurry up. Next up, we have Black Myth: Wukong, an action RPG inspired by classic Chinese novel Journey to the West. This game, of course, was all about its fluid, fast-paced combat with a focus on dodging and timing rather than blocking. In this one though, you will be playing as Wukong, the Monkey King, battling your way through a world filled with mythical creatures and powerful enemies. The combat, as you probably know right now, is very reminiscent of games like Sekiro, but with its own very unique flair, featuring a variety of different weapons and abilities that you can use to outmaneuver and outsmart your enemies. The game's visuals are utterly incredible, with beautifully detailed environments and character designs that bring the world of Chinese mythology to life for the very first time. The beloved Metal Gear Solid 3 is finally being reborn this year as Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater, and it really looks like a faithful remake of the 2004 classic. This modernised version though does enhance the original with some stunning visuals, updated controls, and a brand new engine, but it does keep the iconic story and gameplay intact that we already know and love. If you're unfamiliar though, this one is set during the Cold War, and you'll be stepping into the boots of Naked Snake. You are sent on a high-stakes mission to rescue a scientist and then eliminate a major threat. Of course, the stealth mechanics remain central to this experience, and the survival elements do add so much depth to the overall gameplay. The story was also a pretty deeply personal one, focusing on Snake's relationship with his mentor, the boss, and the moral complexities of loyalty and betrayal. For longtime fans, this is looking absolutely incredible, and it's great that we'll finally see so many newcomers diving in and experiencing the great Metal Gear Solid campaign for the very first time. It's only occurred recently, but Blooper Team have finally announced that Cronos The New Dawn will be arriving on both of our Xbox Series consoles this September, and it might just be the most intriguing horror project that we've ever seen. The announcement did come with a brand new trailer quite recently that not only looked incredible, but gave us a deeper look into the game's unsettling mix of sci-fi and psychological tension. Essentially, in Cronos The New Dawn, you will be stepping into the role of what they call a traveler, and you'll be scouring a desolate future wasteland in search of strange time rifts, gateways, and so much more, leading to 1980s Poland. The blend of post-apocalyptic exploration and historical mystery makes this one really truly stand out. With its chilling atmosphere, it's shaping up to be a must-play for horror fans when it rolls out this September. You may be excited for this next game, but for me, I feel that Call of Duty is starting to see a decline in many aspects. Even so, the campaigns are usually good, and that is one hope that I do have for the upcoming Black Ops 7. This one is actually a continuation of the story back in Black Ops 2, so that personally has me quite excited, but the timeline has shifted from the 1990s to 2035, bringing that near-futuristic gameplay back to mix along with David Mason, the son of former Black Ops protagonist Alex Mason. This new game though has also been been confirmed as a full release, featuring a new cooperative campaign, new maps, and of course zombies. We don't have many other details other than that at this moment in time, but Activision have confirmed that we will see more about Black Ops 7 this August. We have seen a few leaks, and so far these have been for some skins within the multiplayer mode, and I say I won't touch it with a barge pole. Even so, I will dive into this one with Game Pass just to try out the story when it does land sometime later this year. Get ready to roll out the blood red carpet as Dying Like the Beast is finally bringing Carl Crane back for the first time since 2015. This one is of course developed by Techland, and this first-person horror sequel follows up on both Dying Light and Dying Light 2, shifting toward a more focused narrative-driven experience while keeping the brutal combat and dynamic day and night cycle that fans really love. This one though will be set 13 years after the events of the first game, and Crane does return after enduring a decade of cruel experimentation by a militia that's intent on weaponizing the zombie virus that once tore through Haran. With its tighter storytelling, its intense action, and that signature mix of parkour and survival horror, the Beast really does look set to deliver a vicious new chapter when it hits our Xbox consoles. Crimson Desert is one title that's got everyone bloody talking, and is coming out later this year. Originally envisioned as a spin-off from Black Desert Online, this game has now evolved into a fully fledged single-player RPG, and it's aiming to redefine the genre in a very big way. This one though is set in a vast war-torn world, and Crimson Desert looks to offer a very rich narrative that's driven by a complex cast of characters, but it's the combat here that really does set the game apart from others within the same genre. Unlike games like The Witcher 3 or the most recently released Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, which had some combat limitations, Crimson Desert does promise a more flexible and dynamic system, with action being at the forefront. You will be able to take on some brutal sword fights, execute powerful finishing moves, and then also use your environment to your advantage. That also means climbing enemies or throwing them into scaffolding. The game also features some truly stunning visuals, as you're probably well aware with what's on screen now. Their massive open world environments are teeming with so much life, and it just looks so bloody wonderful and honestly blew my mind. If you're a fan of RPGs but you want some more deep immersive combat systems, then Crimson Desert should be at the top of your list for the end of this year. What Xbox game or Xbox Game Pass game are you excited for the rest of 2025? I'll be keen to hear your top 5 in the comments below. I'll also give you my top 5 most anticipated games in the pinned comments, so definitely let me know your favourites. Remember to smash that like button if you did enjoy this video, and then subscribe as well, as it does support the channel. Whilst you're here though, and if you want to see some brand new amazing Xbox content, then definitely check out the video on screen now. I had a sit down with the developers over at Twisted Red, and they gave me exclusive access to the upcoming Exomecha. Yes, the same game that did disappear all the way back in 2020 is finally resurfaced, and I've got some exclusive gameplay for you to check out.